Oh, there's earphones. Not a restraining order, but earphones. Present right there. This is my second attempt at making this video because the first attempt, it was not good. And it always gets worse, and considering it always gets worse, there's earphones. And zero restraining order, obviously. Anyway, this is my second attempt at making this video. I absolutely do not mind the lighting in this second attempt. I spent 12 minutes just talking about my situation here every day, my daily life. It is a fact that my life here at 9107, something I have to constantly live in, is that I'm an unemployed schizophrenic. Okay? That I just want to recap the first video attempt. 11 minutes. Somebody walked through here, and somebody was out there just parked. And what's worse than that? Earphones. So, every day there's no other reality other than I'm an unemployed schizophrenic, and the fact that I'm a celebrity and public figure is a part of this schizophrenia diagnosis. As far as a schizophrenia diagnosis, I wonder how often that happens when you're get a wellness check called, and then having to stay for a certain amount of hours. I stayed for around 2 weeks, which is quite unusual. So I wonder how often that happens, getting a diagnosis, staying at the psych ward after a wellness call, and schizophrenia diagnosis specifically too, also. At University Health Hospital. So, not one interview, not one debate. Other than that, I do not have an answer for you. Anyway, and you know what's worse than earphones? You know, I'm gonna keep quiet about it, but it gets worse than earphones, okay? Don't want to poke that fire. Anyway, yeah, so take two. Happy Sunday. Another day, another dollar. What's going on? Basically, I'm making this video because I don't want to be stuck in my room making a tarot card video today. I'm just getting that feeling again. I hate to, if you happen to look forward to my tarot card videos, I hate to leave you without one. But, I'm just really not feeling it today. So as a content creator, I just wanted a little bit of variety, a little bit of change up, of which I could not think of for a tarot card reading in my room. So here I am. I have one subject matter to discuss, topic of discussion. Because as you know, I kind of run out of things to say and share with y'all, and just kind of, thinking like maybe it really shouldn't be a problem me just having a chit chat with y'all. But sometimes it's like, well, what am I gonna say? So for this week, my mind kept going back to that one. I don't know. It's a philosophy debate question. Y'all ready for it? If a tree falls in a forest and there's no one around to hear it, does it make a sound? And this is very interesting, especially concerning science. You might be a person of some sort of science background, and you say, that is a really redundant question. Of course it makes a sound. When a tree falls, it makes a sound. Did it snap? Well, then obviously it made a snapping sound before it fell or something. If you're a little bit science-minded. So I think this is very interesting. Um, when the origin, how I know of that to be a philosophical question, maybe 101, probably, I don't know. Um, was when we were younger, we were hanging out at my grandmother's house in Austin, and Liz Oglesby, she asked that question. I guess she heard about it in her high school or something, I don't know. And that was my immediate answer. Of course, it makes a sound. It's just science. Um, but I think some people, as far as consciousness, which I think is very interesting, they say it's up for debate. It's not so much of a sure thing, because a lot of the times with consciousness, you're going to need to obviously hear. I think it's very interesting, right? Just to throw this concept into there. But some people say that it is a question for debate because of consciousness. Human consciousness is very important, and yeah, things have to be consciously observed and validated, I guess, with another consciousness. I thought I'd have more say about it, but I guess I don't. I guess I'm really in the scientific school of thought about it. Of course, if it's true, false, and forced and nobody around to hear it, it still makes a noise. But yeah, for some reason, it's a philosophical debate. So if you happen to know why, please let us know. I thought I'd have more to say about it. I guess I don't. I thought I'd be kind of good at philosophy. I guess I'm not with this tree falling. But anyway, it made me think of like, I think you can travel faster than the speed of sound, like mathematically. So I'm wondering like how that goes into there. I think that happened in like the 40s, the 1940s, maybe. Some aircraft traveled faster than the speed of sound. And you know, if you're of the younger generations, I mean, I hate to even use that term, I'm like 40. But if you're of the younger generations, I think sometimes you get a little misconception about intelligence, especially considering this rate and speed of technology. I mean, we say that, but AI can be debatable, right? It's kind of AI is kind of an abstract kind of term we're using right now, um, which is now has a lot of public, user-friendly situations going on, obviously. But anyway, I just like to be kind of a stickler about it because of obviously this explicit images situation. That is really, I'm a stickler about it. That one and two is obviously the capitalism side of things, which, you know, talking about big companies and all that really makes the conversation interesting as far as, is this technology we've already had? Because you know, I've been using Microsoft Word since like I had a computer, and I'm a millennial, so yeah. One could argue a lot of those features that we now call AI were features that were available at Microsoft Word, like what, 15 years ago? I'm being generous. More than 20 years ago. But anyway, so those are the two reasons why I'm kind of a bit of a, if you haven't noticed, a bit of kind of a detail oriented about this AI business. Not that I'm against AI or anything like that, but I'm just kind of like, let's explore further what's trending. But anyway, um, maybe we can ask an AI that philosophical question. Unless somebody already asked Alexa, I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, I think the misconception about the younger generations, and I use that term loosely, what we might have is the intelligence of our history. When I went to science, I learned that people have been studying science for a really long time, and actually in an advanced way for a while. I think sometimes we think these things are a little bit more recent than they actually are. I guess it's just what I'm trying to say. I would give you like specific dates, but I don't know them off the cuff. So I just know fields like organic chemistry, molecular biology, science specifically. Those are fields of study that have had quite a lot of knowledge that maybe you would not think that they had back in those days. At least for me personally. And I like to think of myself kind of as an example of maybe a general populations. Yeah, I'm gonna take a sip of coffee 1 second. Okay, I just realized I didn't press the go button. Again. It is so hard for me to make this video this morning. Anyway. So yeah, the speed of sound is something that as a human civilization we have been able to accomplish traveling faster than, I think, since the 1940s. I think. Don't quote me on it, I could be wrong. I googled it a couple days ago. But yeah, traveling faster than the speed of sound. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? I think that is so interesting. So if you're traveling faster than the speed of sound here, because I know gravity has different metrics when you travel outside Earth. There's Earth's gravitational pull, and then there's other gravitational pulls. But anyway, yeah, I just think it's interesting. A tree falls in the forest, nobody's around here, does still make sound. You know, obviously there's the scientific part. Obviously it makes a sound. Obviously these things are matter. These things, this is what happens with that substance. But as far as consciousness goes, you know, I went on this thing about Elon's Neuralink. I think this, I'm no fan of him, okay? You know me, I've called him stupid a lot. Okay? Let that sink in. So, if you get triggered, makes you feel a certain type of way about it, there's a lot I don't know. There's a lot I'm a diagnosed schizophrenic, unemployed, not a celebrity and public figure. Okay, that's the world I'm in every day. That's my context clues. I don't get to Google myself. I don't get to do any of that. Okay, those are all luxuries I do not have. a very unique situation. Like I said, most people don't gravitate towards this type of situation because of the mere fact of the predatory nature of things. But some people do, unfortunately. So anyway, this consciousness I think is very interesting. We can travel faster than the speed of sound, and then obviously makes you wonder about the Earth formation. So yeah, I guess that's why I thought it was interesting topic that I was like, what am I going to talk about today? So I kept bringing it up. If there's going to be any sort of interplanetary travel, and stuff like that, you would think that this idea of consciousness would be at the forefront. But yeah, it's just philosophical questions like that that kind of make you like not take those things for granted, such as human consciousness. Yeah, I guess that's what I have to say. I thought this video might be longer. Well, it was longer, but anyway, take two. And then I didn't press the button. So anyway, yeah, if a tree falls in the forest, nobody's around, does it make a sound? I think is very interesting, considering the element of human consciousness. If one person was there, would that change the question? If two people were there, would that change the question? Stuff like that. Some discussions, I guess y'all can have amongst yourselves. And what I keep saying. Anyway, yeah, I don't like Elon. Certainly not going to get any respect from me. But those companies seem to be very prevalent. This Neuralink, this interplanetary travel. Which, as far as negatives go, at least they're not like messing with the oceans, right? You leave that whale alone. You leave that octopus alone. You want to do your little science stuff, you go out in space and do it. I don't think there's any animals in space. Anyway. And I guess we can include AI, like tree falls in the forest, and there's nobody around except an AI video camera. Does it make a sound? Does AI have sight? Does AI have sound? So on and so forth. Anyway, yeah, I guess I thought I'd have more to say about it, but I guess I don't. As far as human consciousness, I don't really have, I'm not delving too deep into that one. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's my video. Sorry about not making a tarot card video. I just not feeling it today. I often wonder about how things will be like when I'm not here living in the reality that I'm an unemployed diagnosed schizophrenic. Especially considering 47 in the White House. I mean, always considering 47. I know there are going to be some people that are like, you need to stop thinking about what you're going to do as part of the White House. 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. I guess those people want me to be here till 2028. of which, I'm gonna be with my husband. We're soulmates, and so I've always called you pathetic loser for not acknowledging that. Um, Not only not acknowledging it, but putting up all of these barriers, arguably a schizophrenia diagnosis, to prevent that from happening. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is something that, as Americans, we think we all have a right to, um, which is obviously not present right now for me, right? And I don't want to speak for him because he is the 47th president, and yeah. But as far as all that goes, I was thinking like, well, I really, this talking to people, obviously not like that, but I mean like YouTube me for y'all, and like now YouTube, because it's like closer to reality, right? Um, I feel very lucky that people want to listen to what I have to say. Maybe people want to have a conversation and stuff like that. And, whether I'm here or somewhere else. I mean, where else would I be if not here, right? I think that sort of platform, I feel lucky to have and would like to continue. And the drawings, I was like, well, I could still do drawings. And I think, if people want to have my drawings in a manner in which that, I choose as a creator, owner of said art, um, I don't think they should not be able to have that just because I'm not at 9107 Rustlers Creek, right? So I was like, maybe I could, create what I want to create, and finally be able to interact with the people who like my art, people who follow me, so on and so forth. Maybe donate that money to, I don't know, certain places, and stuff like that. Um, I know on the Mile Higher podcast, they raised enough money to fund. It was either True Crime with Kendall Ray or the Mile Higher podcast, but they raised enough money to fund a training for a canine dog, police dog, a police officer that is dog. Um, and are really important and are actually really helpful for police officers. So I don't know, maybe something like that. Um, Considering I don't know, abuse of office and conflict of interest and stuff like that. Um, I often think about being able to have my business, a business and stuff like that, and hopefully find a happy, fair way to do so. So yeah, I know some people might say I don't have to worry about that till 2028, meaning I don't have to worry about that, but Lord, I hope I'm not here till 2028. But that being said, whether it's tomorrow, next year, or 2028, me and my husband are soulmates, and uh, you know, I can't imagine my life any other way. So yeah, that's my chit chat with y'all this morning. Yeah, thanks for listening. Didn't get it didn't get as conversational with this human consciousness as I thought I would, which is interesting. A little bit more science there, but if you are in philosophy and then you happen to have some thoughts about the human consciousness, whether that be in the Earth's formation, whether that be when human consciousness is traveling faster than the speed of sound, by all means, and feel free to include your input. As is the point of this video, but unfortunately I don't have much to say about it. Human consciousness is, you know, yeah. We often think that human consciousness, I guess, is transitory, is the earth is here, and human consciousness was not, then it was, and then maybe it won't be in, I don't know, billions of years. I don't know. I think we think of the earth as a little bit more permanent, a little bit more static than the human consciousness. I guess is what I have to say about that. I don't know. I think if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, I think it falls in the forest, whether somebody's there or not. And you can go into human consciousness, and I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, because I know most people, they might get uncomfortable if somebody maybe they don't even know is trying to like psychoanalyze them or something. But there could be a philosophy person out there saying like, well, what does that mean, and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, I guess that's my video. I'll be like my new hat. I'm unsure about my necklace, but I only paid $2 for it. So anyway, yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I thought I would have more to say about that, but I didn't. Human consciousness is human consciousness, and yeah. Yeah, so I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good one. Happy Sunday.